it's us, and it's we. Hello, it's your internet friend, Jeffrey K. Horcrims. And however it came to be, whatever misfortune has befallen you, you've fallen ass backwards into Twish's brewing show, Acquisitions Intoxicated. I'm joined as almost always by Eric J. Benson. And you might be thinking, who is that? Don't worry. You might know him by another name. His name is Legion.
Ooh,
for he is many.
Wow.
It keeps coming back, Mike. It keeps coming back.
Yeah.
No, it could be Edge Benson. It could be Azerbaijan. It could be the notorious EJB. More even than that, an additional treat. You can have a little Mike Krahulik as a treat.
Oh.
That's right. The man they call Golden Mouth. Beer taster extraordinaire.
Golden Mouth.
Are you? You don't think you don't like it? You don't want to be called?
Are you talking about my braces?
No. I'm talking about like in this rich IP. Essentially, you are like a beer taster extraordinaire.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were trying to make some crack about the metal in my mouth.
Well, no, I can see from the knitting of the brow that there is some authentic hostility. I'm not trying to do that.
They're clear.
You can't see them anyway.
Can't even
braces?
see them.
Yeah, until you try to eat a Kraft caramel, it's like you don't have
do
them.
that.
As soon as you do that, then it's like a cat's cradle being formed across the crotch. Now,
I'm being cyberbullied.
Now me,
yeah.
Now
you
me,
can sue for this.
Listen, obviously against the TOS, I want to run it. I want to run it back. My good friend Mike Krahulik, back again, on track again. Now, do you have your Growlito?
It's right here.
Perfect. Now, this is obviously for the use of the channel. Of course, we adhere to the monomyth in this program. We leverage the hero's journey in all we do. Now, at the very, very beginning, of course, we're going to introduce some ingredients into the device. Then we're going to do a tasting of a brew that we have put together. We're not going to do the first one. That's what I'm hearing.
So, yeah. So we're out of, we've been brewing so much. We're out of fermenters. So we're kind of like the Robin Hood of beer brewing right now. You can't make any more, but we can just drink it.
Exactly.
Right? So that's where we're at.
All right, here. So I mean, what is the roster looking like right now then?
Okay. So we have in fermenters, if everybody can see, we have Walk It Off, which is a double IPA.
Oh, Jesus.
Old Lang Syne, which smells amazing, which was a Scottish light beer.
It would.
Johnny Brumonic, which is that American amber that we did with the toasted sesames.
Yes.
Brew Site and Hazy Recollection.
Oh, okay. So basically, we're rolling like 5 deep.
Yeah.
On beverage. Well, I say it's for the best. It's for the best.
Yeah.
So let's take a look here at wishful drinking. Why don't let's give the channel a tour of this incredible product.
Okay, so this was a British golden ale, a little darker in color than a typical one, but it's all Maris Otter, which is going to be biscuity and toasty, and then we doubled down on that with the Victory malt.
Yeah.
We went a little more biscuity, and the Cara malt, which is going to give a little like a creamy caramel flavor.
Right.
You know what it smells like to me?
Piss.
Crap.
No. It smells like when you walk into like a old-fashioned pancake house, like a pancake restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. Frankly, a lot of the same we use a lot of the same raw materials.
It's a really good.
Right.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Oh man, you're going right to the Growlito?
Yeah, I drink right from the source.
Wow.
From the wellspring.
So pure. It's so pure. It's
kind of like it at first, but then afterwards has like a
beer taste.
Aftertaste.
Oh yeah. So last time the aftertaste was the part you were drinking it for.
Yeah.
And now we have an aftertaste that's unwelcome. I think that might be the hop bitterness on the back of it.
Very bitter.
Yeah, that's those hops. Now, in the part before the bitterness, I want I want to take you on a guided meditation. Let's just
Close your eyes.
I want you to travel to the first
It's like
part.
sitting in here.
Well, yeah, it collects. That's where it collects in those sacks. If you keep drinking, they'll continue to plump like a toad.
What was the purpose of this one? What was it supposed to taste like?
I don't remember.
Wishful.
See, wishful drinking. We have to, in the brewer section, we have to put a quick note.
Yeah.
Yeah, of what the hell we made this for?
Because we essentially we drink with, 100 or more people who aren't physically present and make up weird beer stories.
I think wasn't this for a
wishful
potion?
Drinking? No, wishful drinking. Johnny Brew Mnemonic is the one that is about the memory spell.
Oh,
wishful drinking is the one. What's that?
Just a healing potion?
No, the healing potion is going to be gruesome. You'll see. No, this right here is wishful drinking is the summer festival. Right?
Oh, is this the one where we said
it's
like
the
everybody
summer
would
beer that you drink in winter.
In winter time. So everybody's kind of wearing a Tommy Bahama shirt, while it's snowing.
Absolutely. Cassie B on Tuesdays, starting at noon, we operate Twitch's only brewery, and occasionally its products succeed. Sometimes they don't. I don't think there's a Chaos Twin. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not 100% sure what that means.
I'm willing to be one of the Chaos Twins.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, are you thinking, can you get in here? I mean, right now, maybe I should
just
handle
audition. The chaos?
I should audition right now for Chaos Twins. Who's going to be my other Chaos Twin?
Right?
Me. Shape of bucket.
All right. Pretty good. Pretty honestly, that had verve. It had vigor.
Mm-hmm.
Right here. So are you going to...
Oh, Gav and Dave. Do they call themselves the Chaos Twins?
It's possible. No, I think it's actually a High Rollers D&D. It could be that my good friend is actually hosting. And that's why. Anyway.
Oh.
Exactly
Mark
right.
is hosting us. Okay.
Well, that's very, very sweet of him. I am a fan.
I've had my drink of the beer, and I have given my opinion. So I'm going to leave.
Are you gonna go create art?
I have to go make a comic strip, but then I'll be back at 1:30.
Because really, we got to play Gunfire, right? I mean, that's.
Yes, Gunfire at 1:30.
Just get it done.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. I'll see you soon, channel.
Jimmy. I love it. Honestly, I'm pleased. I'm even mad. Michael, you have to go. Right. Honestly, at the end, he lingered perhaps too long, in my opinion.
Ooh, I'm not saying. Listen, chaos. All right. Mm-hmm. He called it.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Riggs, certainly the distillery fantasy is not super far out of bounds.
No.
Obviously,
listen,
beer and whiskey have the same parent.
Yeah.
So, and we have been, frankly, this older gentleman is getting to the point of demand.
Right. Like storming down.
He's starting to get more and more aggressive.
Yeah.
In his requests. So, in any event, here we go. Well, yeah, Mater Death. Listen, it's possible that all, if not most, Pen Arcade strips from now and into the future are going to be focused exclusively around Gunfire Reborn, and the reason for that is because it's Earth's final game. It's Earth's final game. It is at the conflux of everything the medium has been working toward.
Yeah.
Since its inception.
And you too can have it for the low cost of $6 or $8.62 on Humble Bundle.
Right now it's $9.72, and then I think it's even cheaper on Humble Bundle, which is Goof Troop. Crimson Fur and I would say that it does have a deck building element, and I'll tell you how. You collect what they call, at least inside the game, occult scrolls, which are sort of like perks. Any other game would call them a perk or something like that.
Right. And
because they can be secured and then freely dropped, it's unlike other games of this type where you choose a specific configuration or you get something and then you just carry it with you forward. Because you can drop them out and pile them up and focus them on characters where they're best for. Yes, there is literally a fucking deck builder as long as you're really playing in multi. Right now, you might also consider Ascensions sort of vaguely card-like in that way, and that might work for you too. But it's not optional. It's just fucking excellent. Now, so the device you are telling me, we can't make any more beer because we've already made all the beer.
Yeah, we've made all the beer. We're tapped.
Right. Fair enough. We're not tapped.
Not in the good way.
No. But so what are we gonna? So what's coming up for us next week?
Next week, whatever we make. So I'm gonna make once I get a free beer. I'm just on the off time. I'm gonna make Cloak and Stagger.
Oh, I see. So it'll just be basically on the off. It'll be like dark camera.
Yeah.
You'll just get that popping. Oh, basically once you've transferred out of the fermenter.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. So once we get one freed up, and then next week we should be back to normal.
Yeah, Pyro says basically what I'm hearing is that Eric needs to buy more carboys, but the truth is, I don't think that's what it is, because I think that your house is essentially a brewery right now, right?
Yeah, and the thing is also at the studio we have more carboys, and Josh and I were talking about this. I'm like, we don't need more carboys because we got like 9 more at the studio that have beer in them.
Exactly. At this point, we just got to pull it.
Yeah.
And especially in the case of like In for a Penny.
I can't wait for In for a Penny. That thing is
ancient of days. It is just rested. It's going to be beyond. It's going to be juxtaposable. It says you just need to start drinking more. No, that's not the problem.
No.
Trust me that the volume of beer consumed is not the issue.
So what do you think of the beer?
Man, I think that it's incredible. Let's pull that back up. Yeah, so doubling down on caramel with Victory Malt was the play.
Right. And then remember we added Mosaic and Huelmel and a Halito Blanc.
Yeah.
At the end too. So I love everything about this. It's light but creamy and malty, and the right amount of bitterness, and there's just some really nice flavor.
It really is. I mean, in order to hit this style, it's gonna have to be hopped in a way that it's not gonna work for Mike. I mean, the taste that Mike was recoiling from is the taste of beer.
Yeah.
Right. And so we can make very mildly hopped German beers in classic sweet styles, and those will work. And then every now and then we'll hit him with another one too. But Mosaic is for beer.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. It's going to have pine bitterness.
Yeah.
That Mike will resent.
Right.
Like at a fundamental level, Mike is going to recoil.
Yeah. And that's okay. You don't have to like every beer. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
That's the thing. There's so many beers you don't have to,
absolutely. But I mean, but also this has got 3 different hops in it.
Yeah.
And that's not really how we haven't really been kicking it that way recently, right?
Right. And what's really fun about this beer to me is it reminds me of things like I want to be at a pub with a wooden bar, bar, just sitting and chilling and drinking with friends.
Well,
that's what this beer reminds me of. And on top of that, my biggest regret is that we don't have it on cask.
Yeah, you want that beer engine type vibe. You want that big pull.
Yep.
Right.
Self-carbonated,
It is just
the right temperature.
So nice. It's so nice. Degrees. It's way lower, it's way lower ABV.
Oh yeah.
The stuff we've been doing recently, which has ranged from 6 up to almost 10.
Fucking yeah.
Like monsters.
And I love session
monsters.
Like I absolutely love sessionable beers. I'm way beyond the point of I need a 9% beer.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We're not trying to do anything super. We're not going out of our way to make something that is in your face, but as we travel sort of through the different styles, like if we make a double IPA, it has to hit certain notes in order to be
absolutely
in that category. I don't mind messing with it, but that's gotta be a certain way.
right.
And this just tastes. I'm half tempted to leave it on my desk here
So
for an hour or so.
So you get it to the right temperature
to fix the temp, and then try it again. Because especially with hops, like this is what we saw at Maritime.
Yep.
Especially when you have like a pile of hops like this, depending on the temperature of the beer, you're getting different things out of them. In the same way that you put them in at stages to expose different things, like those dry hopped IPAs that they were putting out on cask at Maritime, like there's like vanilla, like there's crazy herbal tastes and stuff that you just don't get. They don't come across until you have them at that other temperature.
Right, exactly.
But no, wishful drinking is definitely hitting the right. It's definitely hitting the right note. This is this is like convivial, like in terms of what we were trying to execute. In terms of that vibe, it's perfect.
Right.
It is absolutely perfect, right? So you're shuffling over to this place for the party. It's in Red Larch, right? You're shuffling over there, and then you're wearing all of your summer stuff, right?
Yeah.
Nah. Perfect.
Yep. Agreed. Yep.
Yes, Tobias, it's a summer beer for winter. But yeah, mega hop, but I like that. I like that in this style.
Yeah.
I want it to have that, but it's like the caramel underneath it is perfect. I mean, I think it stands up to it, but obviously I'm not afraid of a hop. Now, so is it time for the next time for our next project?
Yes,
I think so. I think so.
We could just talk about gunfire. I mean, I'm okay with that too.
Well, I mean worse things have happened, to be sure.
Yeah.
Let's open this up in here. We've done a couple of these that I have on this bad boy.
Okay.
Let's see. So let me put this over here. Yes.
What are we thinking about?
Well, here first we need a theme.
Riggs, a Dunkelweizen would be a dark German beer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's rich and sweet. I mean, most German beers would just have that. Just very friendly to the craw. Well, Piril, as you may know, I mean, just like every classic adventure, every round of Gunfire Reborn starts at the inn, as it should. As it should. All the characters are drinking, actually, and there's special animations for each of them drinking.
Mm-hmm.
You going through your style?
Well, where are we going to end up? What do we want to do?
Well, let's see. Compare. Kika, so nice to see you. So let's see. What do we think sounds good? I mean, Gunfire Reborn. I mean, obviously, it's all I think about. But my guess is that they're drinking something else. They're drinking something harder in there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's some plum wine.
Well, because we had another idea last time, but somehow,
surprisingly, let's hit another class. I mean, that was a blast. Like we were saying, we're going to go through the classes.
No, that was definitely good times. So let's see. Weird class. So Ranger, I think, is the classic.
Mm-hmm.
And what was that last one that we just did? Class-wise.
Was it Barbarian? Cloak and Stagger. It was.
Yeah. So we know what that is.
Yeah.
So Ranger, and we're sort of saving Barbarian for the future. And we can go weird. I mean, anything we try to do, anything that we might consider for like an alchemist or an artificer. I feel like is getting into the essential oil vibe anyway.
Yeah, and we've done enough warlocks.
Oh yeah, we've stacked the deck with that. But warlock is obviously amazing.
Yeah.
So far I've got ranger and warlock. What would be rouge?
No. Take warlock off the list is what I'm saying.
Oh, not warlock. We already done it.
Yeah, we've done too many warlocks.
No, not warlock, warlord.
Oh, warlord. Okay, yeah, sure.
Two different types of, and obviously different.
A lot of war.
A lot of war. A lot of war up front.
Yes, a sorcerer is a great one.
Yeah, wild magic sorcerer is sort of the classic, right?
Mm-hmm. Have we done just a fighter?
Yes, we did human fighter, I think, at one point.
Did we? Okay, yeah. Barbarian.
Yeah, we'll save barbarian for. It's like in my mind, it always gets broken between Xavier Woods and Austin Creed.
Oh yeah.
It's like I always have to keep it straight.
Well, when we do his, we're probably going to make Bobby Juice instead of a barbarian, right? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So we could still throw barbarian into the mix. We could also do, move.
Yeah, drunken master monk. Now that would be really cool.
A monk would be cool
if we were making something harder or making a wart for something harder. Yeah, Dark Sun has some custom classes. Josh, Dark Sun has their own versions of magic users, which are defilers and preservers. Plus, in terms of like a unique vibe, they also have gladiators, which were a lot of fun. In Dark Sun, every time you cast magic spells, all that magical energy comes from other creatures, right? But Josh, that's why we were eating those bugs to begin with.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we get back into that. We go to that defiler beer, get those bugs in there. Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. Technically, because they don't have gods in the classic sense, they have something awful that purports to be a god, but not an actual god there. Even the clerics essentially worship elemental or quasi or para-elemental planes. And so there's some really cool hooks, I think, inside that as well. Wow, it's kind of rough stuff in there. But I think that at the end, they want that ranger.
Okay.
Which is great.
So what are we feeling would be let's talk about the styles that could kind of surround a ranger, right?
Yeah, and especially in terms of vibe, right?
Right.
Because rangers are the ones that have the unique it's the fighter druid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it has the unique access and knowledge of herbs, right? Like there's something that we could catch a vibe in on that. Maybe
I would say
like a saison.
A saison would be a great one. I also think a pale, like an infused pale, would be really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be a pale ale, but it would definitely be a spin or twist on it.
Like we infuse it with mint or something like that.
Well, yeah, really lean into the infusion aspect of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Juxtaposable. I mean, that's the trick, right?
Also, what is dark and woody? Like we could go for a we could do a stout. We could do a porter. I like the idea of a porter.
Yeah, but it's like that fine food. Did you ever read The Drawing of the Dark?
No.
It's a must, especially as a brewer. Like as a brewer who loves fantasy, this is. I don't even want to say anything else. Long story short, something dark would be a really, really interesting thing, especially if you're trying to set up something that was perpetually fermenting.
Interesting. Okay.
So that you're just constantly adding and re-adding things to it.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. So is it a new novel or did it come out a while ago?
It's ancient.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of it.
It's ancient.
I will. It will be bought immediately.
Yeah, it's
I need
real
shit
nice
to read right now.
So saison, pale ale. What would be that third one? In that dark vein would be really neat.
I like porter. I think
Yeah,
the porter
because
was
porter,
fucking rad.
it's not a stout.
No. But it's light and can travel fast, right? Like,
yeah, it just looks mean, right?
yeah, yeah.
But
I'm trying to think of. I gotta find what we did for Morgaine.
yeah, Josh, I think you might not be muted.
Well, Josh is muted.
I definitely hear some strange sounds.
Nobody's in my house.
It could be. Yeah, I mean, there's people here, but they're not in here. Oh, okay. Never mind. I don't know where these sounds are coming from. I wonder if it's over. I wonder if is Mike still in the Discord?
No. Oh, it could be. Yeah, Discord could be. No, he's not in it either.
Well,
it's coming from inside your house, man.
I heard a strange sound. That's what I'm saying. All right. So they want the porter, which I think is a good vibe. I mean, I had heard somebody kicking out a Gloomstalker Ranger, and that works for me.
I love that.
Yeah, so it's a more gruesome, like even more melee focused Ranger. Deep under the earth, gloomy alleyways, primeval forests. Yeah, what a great hook.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally, it is a Spectral Bride scenario. That's actually well put. Diplominator and CC Nowhere. I missed that earlier. Thank you so much.
Okay, so let's talk about what we're gonna do. ABVs on these usually about 4.8 to 6.5, but we could go like, is this a, we could go stronger than that if we really wanted to.
Yeah, so let's do 4.8. Yeah, so what does it mean? So if we're thinking about gloom stalking, is it looks dark, but it's light.
It's light. So that could be very much, we start off with a pale ale, right? Or a pale malt, right? Because
exactly. And we can
crisp,
come
clean,
down. We can get it down.
Oh, we've got a lot of different things to play around with that color, right?
Yeah.
Like chocolate malt, black malt, the patent malts.
No, we can fix the SRM
caramels, absolutely.
Because there's some really, really heavy caras.
Yeah.
That we can use to bring it right through the floor. But yeah, 5.8. I like it. So right in the middle. It's substantial, but it's not overwhelming.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like it.
I like it. That 5.
You can get the job. You can technically get the job done and then get out quick.
Exactly. Now SRM. So we throw up that bad boy.
Yep. Give me a second.
In that porter space, it's just got to be up between 30 and 40, right?
It's actually no. What's interesting with the porter?
Actually, that's true. I have seen some kind of whacked out.
Yeah.
So is it like the umbra? Is it like the edge of the shadow?
Right. Or are you at the edge of the forest?
Right.
Like 22 would be like edge of the forest. Are you at the bar? Is this you being?
Yeah. You're in the dark corner of the inn.
Right. This is Aragorn, looking at the hobbits while
this is some the prancing pony type technique. Yeah.
Right. You're letting yourself known, but you're still a little suspect, right?
So here we go. That's a good setup there. So we have a range of shadow options there for the discriminating shadow consumer.
Wow, this is awesome. Like, we don't lose in any of these choices. It's such a cool idea.
Yeah, Mechanthrope. I like the idea that 5.8 is basically an ABV that sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
You could, I mean, Diplominator, it would be very easy to execute an SRM 6.
Oh, easily.
For Mech Warrior.
If we did Mech Warrior, yeah.
Yes.
I'd tell Mitch he has to come on and make a beer.
Yeah, he always seemed cool to me.
Yeah, that's great. Anyways, so 30's winning it. So what does 30 say to you lore wise?
I think that's right in the. I think that's right in the middle. So it isn't out there at the shadow. It's not sort of at the edge.
So 30 is like edge of the forest, though, where 22 is in the bar.
Well, it's literally, especially since it's the middle, right? It's sort of like a foot in two worlds sort of vibe to me.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic.
No, that's a winner.
Okay, so EBUs. Let me get back to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about our IBUs. For porters, it can be all over the spectrum. We're never going to go to the IPA level, which is about 55.
Right.
But 25 to 50 is really where we're kind of our playground. So
yeah, up at 50.
So
that's almost in that black IPA range.
Right. So the question is, are we, shanking with a knife or shooting with an arrow? Right.
Yeah. Yeah, the range. That's almost like the range of interdiction, right?
Right.
Things I got, and this Hellhound is actually a coton. It's not a scary gentleman. And Baron Timber, nice to see you in there. Thanks for rolling through. Yeah, for a while there, 35 was exactly right in the middle. So it's interesting. In each of these cases, they're really choosing that, like, on the border of light and shadow. It's very Lone Wolf and Cub.
Yeah, very much so.
It's like right in the middle.
Yep.
On the threshold, basically, of the two concepts, which I really like. I mean, 35 is substantial. Depending on depending on the hop we use, we can say something interesting with that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, 35 is pretty neat.
Yes, exactly right, Ithman. And like I say, in all these cases, everyone is basically holding the tiller directly in the middle.
I think 35 has it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Nickman, more or less. I keep telling you. And I agree wholeheartedly with them because they're ideas that I put in Precipice. I like these ideas because I did them. And so, but there's no way to tell it. There's no way to tell your child that they would like something. The only way I've ever gotten them into anything useful is to just set it on the edge of the counter and never refer to it. And then if they say, "What's this?" I'm like,
I found it.
Well, no, exactly. When I have it there,
it's their idea
on the edge. No,
not yours.
Really, exactly. There's because if it comes from me or if it comes from their mom, it's shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just something I was kind of into a while ago. It's fine. And then they get it and it becomes a part of their identity.
Right. That's great.
Kika, there'd be a really interesting Lone Wolf and Cub game, I think, like you could run a really cool lone wolf and cub game if you had someone and their actual child.
Yeah. You play it using gumshoe.
Right? I think that could be I think that could actually, nowadays you could execute on something like that. Like if it were me and my daughter Ronya, just as an example, we could pull off some pretty crazy shit. Like I think it would be good times. And this girl loves a camera. Let's be very clear on this point.
All right. So you want to talk about some base malts for this?
Yes. And we can do whatever we want because we're going to have to hit that 30 SRM.
That's easy. 30 SRM is nothing.
We can get there however.
Yeah.
It's not going to take much. It's going to take 4 ounces of something. That being said, it's worth figuring out that first step, like the inflection of the vast preponderance of this is going to come from a specific thing.
Right, exactly. So here's the thing: the first one I'm going to hands down put is just a regular pale malt.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's the easiest.
It's clean. It's crisp. It's you running through the forest, getting the job done.
It's bracing.
Right. Now we could go with a darker note and use Vienna.
Yeah, see, I think that's a wild choice.
That's more Aragorn sitting at the pub.
Yeah, that's a little bit more. It's a little bit more wreathed in pipe smoke.
Yeah, brooding in the shadows, right? That's where you come with that one. I think those are two good.
It's still crisp. I mean, Vienna is still crisp, but it's got that reddish brown.
Mm-hmm.
It has a richer color, and it's more like
more malty.
More richer. It's malty.
Yep.
Right. A little bread. All right. Let's try those bad boys.
Yeah, I think those are two good areas to start with.
Two good Aragorns.
Don't make a right? Wait, what?
To lean in. Oh, this is I feel like we're very much doing Gloomstalkers, Mechanthrope. But obviously they exist in a range of contexts, but they definitely execute a tone for Rangers that I think we have all seen at tables.
Yeah. Where are we at?
And they put those in Xanathars, at least for 5e.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, but you know as well as I do that urban ranger, like that city ranger, you see that motherfucker all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm not even mad at it. Like, I'm just saying it happens.
Is he just there for clout? Does he really go and do anything?
Yeah, he's literally doing it for the gram.
Yeah. He just stands up with one foot against the wall somewhere and tries to look cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Vienna is gonna, like I say, that's out of these two, it's gonna be much more of like the wreath of pipe smoke, corner of the inn.
Yep.
Pale malt is like you know that's like the middle of the room,
right?
Which has its own dangers to be sure, but I think that Vienna out of these two, a little more richness, and then especially as the base malt, like that is going to be sick flavor.
Right, exactly.
So I mean, they're being pretty clear with us here.
Now we have a choice of 3 coming up with this one. So with a porter, you don't have to put a lot into it. You
Porters
don't have to
are quite simple.
Yeah, they're very simple in their structure, so you don't have to go 7 grains deep. So I think the next choice, do we want to go with black patent, which is going to give us a roasted characteristic, which is more pipe smoke, right? This is the brooding.
Yeah, black patent, a classic. We've used it before, but that roast character, that's going to be on the coffee tip.
Right.
Right.
Do we want to go chocolate, which is, chocolatey and nutty in flavor?
Exactly.
Or do we want to go with caramel?
Yeah, because
really
that's the truth is that we can get there.
Mm-hmm.
There are caramel malts that'll take us all the way up.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just about how we get to that dark tone.
Yeah. And really, what kind of flavors do we want to emphasize based on this, Gloom Ranger?
Now, hold on a second. Are there ryes that are down at that level?
No, but we can always just add rye.
Because rye, what rye does is it offers a little bit of almost an herbal bite.
Well, we'll talk about that after this.
And a mild astringency. Yeah. So after we figure out how we hit our SRM, then we can do whatever we want in there.
Right. We could go with rye. We could go with another Cara.
Shit,
we could go,
man. Rye porter with with the Vienna and the candy and the darker flavors. Oof.
Right, but we could also go with a special B, which is going to double down on the caramel. We could go with a special roast, which is going to add toasted and biscuity flavors. Rye, which is going to give us that distinct rye.
So I love it. So they're being pretty clear here. They really want the black patent. So a little bit more of a thin, in terms of the body of the beer, that's a thinner note that offers the the dark roast of a coffee flavor. Right.
What did you say our SRM was?
The SRM is 30. Remember, what they are telling us is that this is very much about the threshold. There's a foot in each place.
And so what was our 30 ABV?
And the ABV is 5.8. So every one of these was actually dead in the middle. So IBU is 35, SRM 30, ABV 5.8.
Okay, so now here we can go wild, right?
Now exactly, because whatever we do will actually be hidden by this black patent.
Right. We already know that we're getting this roasted characteristic off of the black patent, right?
Yes, but I think that rye might be really interesting. So let's keep talking about it. Again, like you said, porter bodies tend to be quite simple. If you've ever had one, it's like an ale really, except it's much, much darker in color intensity. And because it's darker in color, it's because they added something that has this roast note.
Right.
But rye would offer us the kind of herbal spice that we want from this capable woodland figure, right?
So I would say we have three things we can do. Nothing else. We could just go. We could stay right here, and this is brooding in the bar. Yeah,
it's great. This is basically like waiting for the next job,
right?
Or in observation,
right? We could add special roast, which is going to give us a toasty, biscuity flavor on top of the coffee.
Coffee, basically right now we got the coffee,
the roasted flavor.
Roasted flavor, the bread aspect from the Vienna base, and now a little toasted digestive biscuit almost from the special roast.
We could put rye in there, which is going to give us that herbal, as you mentioned. Or we could do special B, which is going to double down on caramel, because that could be really fun too. A roasted caramel, right?
Oh my, it would taste so good.
So we have 4 things we can do here.
Now, when did you get into special B?
Way back in the day. We were.
Well, I was just gonna say, I was in college. Everybody was experimenting with grains.
Yeah, and I was just like, you know what?
No, but I'm saying that I know that you love it. Like, did you make a beer that you
Actually,
added
what's funny
special
is-
B to, and then you
No.
were like, holy shit, this is my stuff.
You know what's really funny? Like it's only proc because of this show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was something that you brought in with you, because I know that you've been at
No.
it since you were making it in buckets.
Yeah. But no. It was literally because of the show. Everybody was just saying special B.
Oh man, well, it do taste good.
I mean, it's great.
It do taste good.
So do we want that herbal vibe? Do we want a caramel and roast? Do we want a roast and biscuit? Or do we just say we're done?
No, they want this rye. So between the coffee, almost like a tinny coffee roast note, against the Vienna, which is actually going to fix that astringency, and then rye inside that. Man, this is already legend. I mean, this bad boy, like wishful drinking, is another festival entrant,
Right.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have a hard time. I mean, you're gonna have a hard time beating that. Just straight up. If I gave you 3 glasses, you would remember, right?
Yeah,
you would
I remember the name.
If you were a judge and you had the paddle in front of you, it's really, really nice in its simplicity, and it's executed well, right? For its style, it's like a best in show type thing. As an execution of its style that has a little bit of a twist that sets it apart, it's amazing. I think this porter is actually going in the same direction.
You think so? Just like because of the rye addition?
Just the base. It's this specific combination of those 3 notes. I think is going to be really, really drinkable, actually. Because that's what you want. I mean, essentially, you don't want to go all the way with the stout,
right?
But having that little hint of rye in there is good. We haven't done much rye in the Pico.
No.
Right? I know in the big systems you were saying that sometimes rye can be a problem.
Well, that's when you're distilling with rye.
Oh, really? That's mostly in the distillation? I thought it was brewing with rye. You said it got kind of gluey.
Yeah, it gets very sticky.
Yeah.
Clogs up lines. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we have got a very nice thing. So we're coming with our herbal note, at least part of our herbal concept. Part of that preparation concept coming from the rye. Special roast. No, we didn't do a special roast. We got the rye, we got the black patent, we got the Vienna.
What was our ABV?
ABV is 5.8. So we got plenty. We got room in there too. We can tool around with the base malt or with the rye.
There we go.
We're good. Yeah, we did a rye PA back in the day. Sup, Shazma? Okay, so now we've got something very, very tasty here. Is it time to start thinking about our horp?
Yes. What kind of flavors do we want to come out of the hops on this? And we can really have some fun. We can say we're going to do this as a single hop, or we can do something else and say, oh, we want some more herbally notes that come off the nose, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like depending on what we want on the back. Oh, interesting.
What are you thinking?
Well, no. So I remember when we were actually drinking stuff, because the truth is hops are still being developed. I mean, it's not exactly Tulipomania, but it's certainly here. People are trying to come up with the next hop all the time. Sometimes you'll have IPAs that have a numerical name.
Yeah.
Right. And it was really, really funny. There was that one that was with an experimental hop that they were doing. I grabbed a can of it. This was a month and a half or so ago. I'm trying to remember what it was. I gave you a can of it as well.
Oh,
I think I'm legitimately allergic to that hop.
What? Not the left-hand brewing one.
I think I'm actually allergic to whatever the experimental hop that they had was. I've never experienced
lucky
it
envelope
before. There was something weird in there that I was having a hard time with.
No kidding.
As an organism, but
you like the taste.
I like the taste, and it didn't stop me for a second. Now, HBC 291, I remember that. Apparently, that's called Laurel now.
Yep.
And so Laurel has been described as a super noble hop. So it's mega floral and herbal notes, followed by a backdrop of citrus and earthy character. I feel like Laurel might be a really interesting choice.
We could throw that up there for sure. Do we want to talk about anything with pine in it?
Very much so. I think pine, not only is it traditional, right? That's the base of skills that you work from, right? Not only is it traditional, but I mean the forest. It's sort of hard to avoid the forest metaphor, right?
So I would say Chinook, which is heavy and spicy and piney. You get a little bit of citrus in there. Yeah, that would be one of the go-tos.
And sometimes brewers in the channel have some idea. Yeah, exactly. Pyrol says, how about some Kingsfoil? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This is what we're talking about for sure.
What do you think about Calypso?
I've had it before. I see a couple people in here talking about some Challenger.
Yeah, it's just kind of on the same point as Chinook, but we can go with Challenger.
On the Chinook.
That's fruity, spicy.
There we go. I like it. Now, do I want to do a fourth one, or are we good with these three?
I think these three.
Okay. Because the truth is, we could hit it with something at the end.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Just
that makes it more
to pop the nose.
Right. That makes it more earthy or herbally.
I think so.
Or fruity, for that matter.
Yeah, Baron Timber says that Challenger is like Chinook's less loud brother.
Yeah.
Eric might know that better than me. I know that Eric has a barrel that we have considered using for beers occasionally. If you take a beer and oak barrel it as if it were a whiskey, does it do anything weird? It doesn't do anything weird, but it does the same thing it would do to a whiskey.
Yeah.
Which is to impart those oak notes.
Yep. Exactly.
In whiskey, oak notes are part of an overall thing, and you're experiencing them at a very high level throughout, very consistently.
But which is interesting for
oak and beer is different.
Yeah, you for your palate, that's a harder sell. You're not a huge oak barrel aged beer.
Yeah, I love Scotch.
Yeah,
but
that's two wildly different things.
Exactly. But it's also there's also a temperature thing too. Yeah. Like the carbonated, foamy, oak notes in beer to me taste like poison, and not even like euphemistically. Like when it hits my tongue,
right? That
level of that basically oil, right? When that hits my tongue, my body says this needs to be avoided. It's not safe. Right?
Yeah. And that's okay. Like you don't have, I mean, that is a very specific note that you either like it or you don't.
Yeah.
Like there's no in between.
Yeah. Kika knows what's up. There's that aspect. Again, in a spirit, I love it. But in a beer, it's all I can taste.
Yeah.
Right? They want that Chinook.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's the origin character, right?
Yep.
And it's like they've been taken there, they transplanted. It has a foot in each of these places.
What was our IBU again? 35?
IBU is 35.
Okay, cool. So the question is, do we want to stay with just Chinook and say that's our characteristic? That's what we really want. Earthy, spicy, little bit of citrus, or do we want to add something else on the end for
like at 5 minute or
yeah. So you get some aroma off the top.
Yeah.
Do we want to add like a fruity note to the top?
Yeah, there we go. Like your gather food, like like those abilities.
Like, do we want to put a Citra on the top of this where it's very lemony, or do we want?
Is there any hops that have the like the darker sweet, like something more in
like a stone fruit
berry? Yeah, berry or stone fruit. Instead
Eldorado.
Sharp is weird. Yeah, Eldorado will give us the stone fruit.
Yep.
And that might be amazing in a nose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stone fruit and mango was what I was seeing back in the day when we used to have them in pails.
Oh yeah.
Right, but just that's that expertise delivering the meal with a successful check. Is there another note we want to put in front of him?
What are you thinking? What Eldorado. Else would be more for this gloom stalker? I like tobacco-y.
Tobacco would be perfect. And there are notes. There are hops that can offer that earthy tobacco.
We could hit it with like a Summit, which is tobacco and a little bit of citrus and fruit.
That might be really cool.
Or there's Mount Hood, which is more spice and tobacco.
There we go. That's it. And then you also have the mountains.
Yeah, and it's herbally, right? Yeah.
There we go. Oh yeah, Mechanthrope, a dank hop that's most hops. Like, and obviously back in the day, we would open the bags on stream.
Right.
We got lots of that sort of activity for you in the archive. But wow, I would say that musky, dank, like these are definitional of pelletized hops. And then even if you had a fresh hop, then you roll it in your palms,
right?
And smell it to check and see if it's ready to go. It's incredibly rich and bassy. Basically, it's a it's a down low, scent. Oh, they want the hood.
I like it. I think that's cool.
Yeah, let's give it to them.
I mean, X might. Actually.
Yeah, hops can be used pretty broadly. Hops can be used as a tea. Hops are also, like, I'm seeing hopped ciders more and more often these days as well.
And hop,
which
water.
I support.
Hop sparkling water. That's a thing.
Oh, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a fresh hop cider at Brower's a couple years ago, and I mean, I hesitate to say life-changing.
Yeah.
But I did cry.
Just broke down a little.
I did cry. You can ask Brenna if I cried. It's true. Yeah. Demetrius, you can also pickle a hop shoot as well. It's actually super good.
Okay, so let's talk about some yeast.
Mount Hood. Yeah. So what's next?
I mean, a little bit of yeast, right? So we can.
What are the options? Yeast.
I mean, hey.
Like baker's yeast.
You heard about it.
Impart those novel tastes.
Where is it? I mean, the classic is going to be.
Oh, for porters?
Oh, yeah. Here, come on. Do we want this to be clean, tart, and a nutty in flavor with a little more fruit? Because that'll be American Ale too. That'll kind of play into that fruit that we were going for with the hop.
Especially at the end, yeah.
Yep.
That's American Ale too?
Yep. Or let's see what Imperial's got on their docket for this.
And we'll look down into the ding dong as well. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that working, and it's a super classic hop. Josephine, so nice to see you. Just let it naturally ferment in a cave high on Mount Rainier. Exactly. Just bury it. That was the theme we had for Holly's beer, right?
Which one?
Well, that she's just burying these beers out in different places.
Yeah.
And forgetting them.
Ooh, okay. I like the Pub, which is from Imperial.
Ooh.
Brewers swear by this yeast to achieve a bright ale in a short amount of time. One of the more flocculent. Yeah, I like the thought of having it bright. Is really nice.
Any other notes they got?
No, it's going to produce a bright and balanced beer.
Gotcha. So it's going to be light, clean, but it's not going to be. It isn't going to have the base notes.
Yep. And one more we can do. Actually, a British ale would be in a different spin. It's still fruity, but it's tart, dry, and crisp.
These are all winners. And the main thing with the British ale is it's going to give you some of the fruity esters in there as well, which is going to give it a spin. It's similar to the American ale. Right. It's just not offering it isn't offering the clean aspect, right? Nor is it delving down into the malty nuttiness.
Right.
And the Pub sounds to me like a get in, get out type yeast.
Exactly.
I like the idea that one of its virtues is that it ferments quickly and cleanly. It's also an industrial process, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, I don't think we lose in any of these choices.
Mechanthrope says, is there an easy way for homebrewers to ferment with wild yeast? Businesses could do a blind bag type thing where you buy a random yeast. Well, they'd be happy to. I think the person who wants to do the rest of this labor and then not know what they're going to get as the result is going to be pretty rare.
Yeah.
But such things happen with wild yeasts also. I mean, wild yeasts deliver some weird stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, God, Rogue did it where they took yeast from the brewer's beard.
Yeah, the beard, right? There was a sufficient beard. I told Brenna this, and she went, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, she didn't think that was interesting.
No, I've no. I mean, yeah, it was cool to hear about. I still don't want to think about it while I'm drinking it.
No, I don't want to. It's like, oh yeah.
Not that any of these other yeasts are anything different than other than bacteria.
Well, no, they're all bacteria, but it's like I don't want it to be from a man's face.
Yeah, I like to think my bacteria is out on an open grassy plain somewhere, and that's where.
Well, what I want is a free range bacteria. I want a bacteria that's allowed to
organic. Yeah. Exactly.
Saprobate, is that true? Are yeasts fungoids? Are those spores? No. No. No, you're right. It's a goddamn yeast. What? It's a goddamn fungus. That's not what I want. I have a fundamental distrust of these creatures. Fungoids in my beer? I say no.
I say nay. You say nay?
File. Aggressive. So, well, I haven't seen any fungaloids. They don't have any fungaloid enemies in Gunfire. At least not yet. There's supposed to be a new zone.
Not yet, but man, do we have some arrogant lobsters? Let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what to make of that.
True. Now, GamerGout, this is actually something I'm familiar with because it would have been beer would be just a fundamental. It'd just be a fundamental task. Like a brewing would be a daily task that you would have to accomplish, like mead making.
Right.
in Northern Europe. I mean, you essentially make it from the remainder. So you would use the comb, right? The idea that we have now of making mead like from raw honey,
right,
is so luxurious that they would barely have understood it.
right.
The only people doing that are at the highest echelons of those societies. People are making this stuff in their homes from the honey that's still in the comb after they've used it. It's a practical thing. Oh, I see, Diplominator. I was thinking more about it from a factional perspective, but now I see. Okay, they want the British ale. It looks like it's cool. gonna have, and it's pretty close actually between that and the American.
It's close, but it's just a little bit more.
Well, it's gonna have a little more of the fruity bite.
Exactly.
Which of course we support 100%.
Yeah, that looks like an amazing beer to me.
No, that's a mega winner, I think. Now, all we need to do next is figure out what the name is going to be. So we have our Gloom Stalker. Yep. We have an entity that has a foot in 2 realms. Incredible skill derived from a specific realm of knowledge. There's got to be some name concepts here. Flavored enemy, you demon.
Ooh, nice. That's great.
What we brew in the shadows.
There we go.
Exquisite. Strider.
Ooh, that's good. Dreaded ambush. Breaded ambush.
Darkness bread. Yeah, Umbral Sight. Umbral Sight's one of the abilities, right?
Yep.
That's a freebie.
Blades in the Dark. John Harper's with us right now.
Let's see.
Sneak and sip.
Alex King, it pleases me to tell you that this is a Gloomstalker Ranger. Blades in the Dark. Oh, yeah. I think I got time for one more cool name. Yeah.
And a little, yeah.
Times new opponent. I mean, Eric could check and see if we had named something flavored enemy.
God, that's a good. Let's
do a search.
We already have flavored enemy.
That's an oatmeal stout. I bet it's
an oatmeal stout. Yeah, I think it was amazing, actually.
Good call from Times.
Yeah, wait a man.
Hunter's Dark. Let's give those a try.
So what are we at? Yeah. Ooh, okay.
We have a rich selection, robust, if you will.
Strider is.
And look at that cup.
Right.
That's going to be real good. This is going to be another winner, I think.
I think the black patent with the rye is going to be super interesting to.
Yeah, that's going to be unique.
The taste, yeah.
Yeah, Hunter's Dark works on a couple different really good levels.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Fading at the edges. Thank you so much. Subbing with the vote. Very powerful. A statement. Hunter's Dark is fly. Now, Baron Timber, you can just change your number at any time. It tolerates that. Yes. Now, Diplominator, your boy Eric here would love to do what we brew in the shadows. If we choose, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to put it right here in the notes. We'll do vampire.
Yeah.
As a concept. We've done other cool creatures vampire would be great.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, seriously, Drawing of the Dark, get your mitts on it. Imagine, I'm just telling you, like, you exist at just like me, you exist at the crossroads of like real fantasy enthusiasm, a genuine interest in history and brewing. So imagine a book that just elevates all of these things to high art.
Yeah, I am like enthralled already. So
it's gonna get your mitts.
Was it a one and done, or
he doesn't really do sequels for the most part. It's Tim Powers. He also did On Stranger Tides.
Yeah.
Right. That's one of the more famous ones, but Declare, a couple other ones.
No kidding. I will be all over this.
There we go. Hey, look, Hunter's Dark, executed at the highest level.
Wow, that's Jesus. That's
very,
great.
very tasteful. Well, look, it's actually 1:15. I mean, I wonder if Mike is interested. I mean, because we succeeded, we did it.
Yeah.
I wonder if he doesn't want to jump in early
and get more gunfire in.
My suspicion is that he's interested in it. Yeah.
I mean,
well, I won't be able to, Pyro, because I have a meeting, but then I'll be coming back later. And I know that he was drawing the strip, but I think that if Kara learns there's an opportunity, I think if Kara learns there's an opportunity to play Gunfire Reborn, that might change the mathematics somewhat.
I'm not even going to blame this. I think we all just really want to play Gunfire at this point.
It's so good.
It's so good. And after your like destruction with that lightning from that cat, you tripled any of our damage output. That was insane.
It was really, they're going to come for that. They're going to come for that cat in a big way.
Yeah, real hard.
Because once they have all the stats together, but I mean that's what they should be doing.
Right.
It's like we discussed. I mean, you deal that much damage, and that's how many creatures there are. There's an upper bound on how much damage can actually be dealt, and it has to do with the load of enemies, right? But
when you're spiking off of every enemy,
exactly. And I think of it like what I want to do in any game is I want to play a support role.
Yeah.
And this allows me. It's sort of like in Gears. This allows me to play a support role
in a wildly different way.
No, the best defense is a good offense if you can deliver that type of harm. At range. I think of myself as I'm basically just doing the cleric role in reverse.
Yeah, like, exactly.
What if they never get hurt at all?
Yeah, you're just casting harm person.
Yeah, more or less. So Mike says that he's sure just need a min, so he'll be able to grab everybody together and roll them in. He can take this stream over for us, and then like I say, I have my meeting, and then I'll show up for a run later in your stream.
Well, fantastic. Because why not have another 100,000 points of damage?
Yeah, it's a huge plus. And of course, everything scales. I mean, between the three of you, and then the other high point in there is that we have somebody who's hyper focused on melee, and then somebody who's hyper focused on ranged, and then we have really good options for the middle, especially with the corrosion dots and stuff, right? Anonymous, thank you so much.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I think you really, once you have that cat in, you really only need the original cat. You only need one of them for crowd control.
Yeah, exactly. And Kara has really taken to that dual wielder dog character.
Oh, yeah. She's great.
And so we can actually go 4 deep with every champ they have and get good results. But the cat is actually not optional, right? Hey, well, I was just going to say, so here's an opportunity for everyone to see what we're talking about. We'll drop out Mike will pick the stream back up. Eric will be there as well. And then I'll be jumping back on as soon as I can for a run later this afternoon. So until next time, see you.
See ya.